Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to be sharing with you quickly how I got this look for like little to zero money. Basically, I was actually reusing some braiding hair for some blue braids that I'd taken out. I don't keep my braids in for long, so I took them out, washed them and conditioned it, and then let it air dry. And then here I'm just like combing it out, and of course for the look I needed to cut the hair again into two, so I just folded it and cut it into two. And because now it's a blunt end, I needed to pick the hair and just create that, uneven ends so that it's not as blunt. So I'm going to be going ahead to curl the hair in little sections, and I'm using FLEXI rods, and I'm also using these PERM rods. So I didn't have enough PERM rods, which is what is on the screen now, to complete all the hair that I was going to do. So I also went ahead and used the FLEXI rods. You kind of get similar results and you kind of save time, but if you do have lots of one or the other, you can go with whichever one you prefer. So I tried two different ways to flex or curl the hair around the rod. So one was really just flipping the hair over it and then twisting around, and the other method was like pre-twisting and like creating a loop, because I know I'm going to crochet the hair and I didn't want it to be difficult to pull out of the flexi of the perm rod. So I pre-twisted the loop and then carried on twisting the rest of the hair over the over the perm rod. But I found that doing it this way kind of put a little bit more stress on my fingers, because I had to hold that loop in place while twisting. So it's a little bit more stressful. I was just trying it out. This method ended up being easier to take off of the rod, but it kind of came out shaped a little bit differently, and you'll see later on when I unravel them. Now, once I'd run out of all my perm rods, I went ahead and started using the FLEXI rods. I'm just using this size, it's just a medium, almost small size. You can use whatever size you choose. You can use a size that's similar to the perm rods, or if you're just using all FLEXI rods, you might as well just stick to the same size. So I decided, because there was a lot of length on the FLEXI rods, I decided to curl like 3 pieces of the hair per rod, and that just helped me save how many rods I was going to be using and maximize the space on the rods that I was using to curl. And so just gently rolling and twisting the hair over it, and the excess, like the extra long ends, I just kind of tied it back on itself. As soon as I'm all done and ready to curl, I boil a kettle of water, and I put all the hair in a bucket or in a bowl. You can put it wherever that can take hot water, and then I pour the boiling water over it. So you're just gonna let the hair sit in the hot water for a couple minutes is enough, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then just pull it. I just put them on the towel to dry. So I left that to air dry. You can definitely go ahead and use maybe a hair dryer, a blow dryer, put it on a cold shot and dry it if you want it quicker. But once it's gone in the hot water and the water's cooled, or it's out of the water, the hair is pretty much curled, so you can take it out even when it's wet. But if you just want less mess, you can just allow the hair to dry. So here I'm just taking out the hair from different rods, and as you can see from the FLEXI rod, it looks pretty fine to me. The curls look even, and except for like finding exactly where to start unraveling from, that was the only main challenge I had with this. As you can see, the struggle a little bit there. Moving on, I am unraveling one of those ones I was trying to explain with like leaving the loop out, and that was very easy to unravel, but kind of gave the hair a weird shape, likely to do with the direction I twisted in. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it's all curls. Once it's put in, everything will blend with each other and will interact and will be just fine. And then this other one is the ones where I flipped the hair over it and curled. So these were a little bit more difficult to take out of the perm rod, because the perm rods have these little, it's like little bristles on it, which kind of scratches or catches the hair as you pull out the hair from it. So you might want to be mindful of that if you are using perm rods to create your crochet braiding hair. So it's pretty much straightforward. Unraveling. Some of the curl patterns that I got when unraveling these were so beautiful to look at. I just enjoyed that springy macaroni looking curl. They looked fantastic. They looked yummy. And the blue color is just wonderful. So I have this kind of sort of undercut where the back of my hair is braided, but I'm not going to be crocheting the back of the head. I'm just going to be doing the front, so it kind of gives the hair a lift, and that helps to shape the final style. It gives it that, almost like when you do a bob cut with like an A-line. Yeah, it kind of gives it an A-line shape. So my braids don't look as new because I had it braided, but I was being procrastinating, probably just busy. So it took a couple of days. In fact, I had washed the braids in my hair before putting this in, so it doesn't matter. It was clean hair, moisturized, and yeah. So I'm just installing with the crochet needle. It's very simple. Unfortunately, I didn't break down in detail the crochet needle procedure, but if you do want to see how I do it in detail, I'm going to link again my previous video, which I believe I show way more close up. So I'm just going cornrow by cornrow until I get to the front, and I was already sort of splitting the hair before I installed it. So you can do it that way, or you can just go with the little curled hair as is, and then you separate after you've installed. So what you would do is not split the hair, the braiding hair, install it, but you'll put more gaps between where you install it, and then after you're done installing, then you would separate it. I think that way you get less frizz than the way I done it, but I'm not sure why I did it this way, but I just did it this way. I didn't expect that much frizz, but I think it's the type of hair that I've used, and probably because it was conditioned as well, it was so soft and it was just flying everywhere. But that's about it, and pretty simple. It just goes on, and you can gel the front of your hair if you want, if that's your style or whatever. Okay, cool.